Hey everybody, Zealous Talon here with the review for the Power Rangers Dino Thunder Auxiliary Zords or the Bakuryu's Sentai Aba Ranger Auxiliary Mecha. Not including the Stegazord, obviously. Yes, that was an auxiliary originally, but I'm only covering the 4 limb swappers here. So basically, all of these guys have their own little action feature, and they all become a different limb for either the Aberreno or Killero, or if you really want, you can stick them on the Bakureno or the Maxoja. Lots of different options. You can just start going nuts with all sorts of crazy combinations once you have all of these. So, starting off here is the Cephalozord. This one was never released in America. Take that, Bandai America. And because of that, people could never complete their Triceramax, so, but I like it. It's a Pachycephalosaurus, obviously. He has some shoulder articulation for transformation, and the knees can move and the mouth can open. And I really like the detailing in there. You can just barely see the tiny little teeth in there. And I like the spikes around the back of the head too. Very cool one. And the only one of them with chrome. Which is interesting that only one of them would have it. But anyway, the Dimetrozord, which is my personal favorite out of all of them. Dimenokadon in Japan. By the way, in Japan this is called like Baki Kero Nagarusu. Fucking mouthful. I actually prefer the English names for these in a bizarre turn of events, but normally the Dimetrozord, the Bandai America version, is missing all this silver paint you see except for that which is on the head and these 3 stripes on either side. All the other silver you see I painted on there to make it match the Japanese version. I had an OCD moment. I can't explain it. But the Dimetrozord, his head moves, his jaw opens and closes, and you can move the front limbs around for transformation. Kind of pose with him, but he is kind of a brick, but I love him anyway. Just because he's a Dimetrodon. Not a dinosaur. The last of them. I said there were only 3. This is the 3rd one that's not a dinosaur. Synapsid reptile from the Permian. Long before dinosaurs. Anyway, the Parasaur Zord is a Parasaurolophus. I like this one a lot too, as far as the shape of it goes. This one's just like really nice looking. I love how high the tail is, just the proportions are really good on this one. I like it a lot. He has shoulder articulation, bicep swivel, the head can rotate and pivot up and down, mouth can open, knees can bend for transformation but also kind of for posing. One thing I really like is that how the Parasaur Zord has the scissors gimmick and the Cephalozord has the punching gimmick, and you can see both of their hands. Like the Cephalozord has boxing gloves and the Parasaur has scissors, which I think that's pretty cool how they did that and kept it consistent. And the Parasaur is the only one America got that was not altered in any way when it came over, except for like a little label thing that they put on the belly. But as far as the paint apps and coloration goes, it is spot on. The Ankylozord is pretty awesome. I like it a lot. I like it mostly for the power it had in the show more than for the actual toy, because you know this big hooked sort of pointy tail is cool, but it doesn't look much like the tail club on the actual dinosaur. The mouth can open, and the legs can move for transformation. You can kind of say they're posing, but not really. Paint apps were kept the same in America. They just took out this. There was a spring in the tail that launched the tip like a missile when you pushed on the button. They took that out of the American version, which is a shame, because now instead of a drill shield rocket launcher auxiliary, we just get the drill and the shield. So all of them can use their action feature in their individual mode, which is great. It just adds to the play value of these. I mean, you really can just be... These are so great on their own compared to some of the other auxiliary mecha we've seen in Sentai. So, for the Cephalozord, all you're going to do is take this black catch under the tail, flip it back, that'll release the spring for the head. You flip the arms up and around, fold the legs back, and then take this wheel in his chest, flip it forward, roll him along the ground, and you'll get the punching for the head. And for limb mode, just fold that back in. The Dimetrozord has this wheel on his tail. You just kind of push that towards the ground, roll him along, and his saw blade will spin. Really, I just love that saw blade. It's just menacing. It's like a torture device. To transform him, you just flip the legs up, and then basically just fold him in half, like so. Parasaur, to activate his, you just push on this tab on the tail. Activates the scissors. Transform it, fold the legs back, fold the arms back, twist the head, and just kind of tuck his chin down as far as you can. And that's him. For the... Oh, and yeah, in Japan this was Parasaurokiru, and the Ankylozord was Ankylozord. So, I forgot to mention that, I apologize. For this one's action feature, you just spin the shield around and it activates the tail drill. If this was the Japanese, you could also shoot the freaking missile, but that's not going to happen. So, to transform, it's very simple. Just fold her front limbs back all the way, and then fold her back limbs forward all the way. And there you have it. I'm going to call in an assist from the Aberreno and Killero for some motor power. Starting with the Ankylozord. Aha. Swished you up, did you see that? Yeah, bet you didn't see that coming. So now we have the double drill attack with the shield spinning. And I like this one a lot. The orange really helps add to the yellow and the red. The Parasaur can add its scissors to the mix. And that one looks good with the Tricerazord to make the blue look less out of place. The Bandai America Dimetrozord was packaged with the Stegozord if you have the American versions, so naturally I have these both. Just clip him on, and you get the saw blade. And finally, the Cephalozord, which gives you the punching action.